we're back. Had to take a pee break.
You'll have that.
Here's one from Tina Bean. She's been following us for a while. No questions. Appreciate the comments, Tina. And I think she's getting ready to go on the road here pretty quick. Man, there are a ton of people that have responded, you know, every week about their plans and they want to go on the road, and it is so cool. I mean, I can't imagine where this is going to be in a few years. There's just going to be tens of thousands of people, you know, full-time RVing and working from their home and or working from their camper, and just a pretty cool network and community. It's been awesome for us, you know. That's one thing that is cool. I can't imagine after many years of this, meeting different people in different areas and keeping tabs on them, and they're following us and we're following them, and you're kind of intersecting. And
I was just gonna say, that's what I can't wait for. Is, you know, we build up.
It's awesome.
Our little
community friends.
Community of friends. Yeah. Just staying in touch with them. And
Z061309 asks, what truck motor are you using and when are you going back to work? Month. We already discussed the truck. It's a 2004 3/4 ton. I did not get a dually or a 1 ton.
No.
3/4.
We talked about it.
3/4 ton pulls this fine.
Yep. No problems.
And the motor's a 5.9 Cummins. And when are we going back to work? Usually March we head back, pending on weather.
Yep. Last year we had to cut it short a couple weeks because they had a hot spell in South Dakota, but that was short-lived, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Nomadic Native asked about our off-grid RV. For example, how do you power everything? Are you on a generator all the time, or do you have solar? We don't have solar.
I'd say this is all you.
The reason I haven't gone solar, maybe we will eventually, but we don't do a lot of boondocking, but when we do, the generator covers everything. It's incredibly quiet, and I think we run that thing for like $1.50 a day or something. Yep,
you figured it out last year.
So it's dirt cheap, it's quiet, it's easy. If I was to go out and try and add batteries, you know, chargers, solar panels, mounting hardware, all that good stuff, I would say to get the same capability I'm getting out of that generator, I would spend thousands.
And not only that, but you would have to factor in adding all that extra. Then you're going to be taking up more of your basement storage space too. Storage
space, weight you're adding, you know, the batteries to get a decent bank of batteries is going to add a ton of weight. There's pros and cons to both. I really, you know, would like to maybe supplement, maybe get an additional battery or two and maybe a small solar panel. But for right now, for us, the generator works great. We've got the little Kawasaki.
Oh, is it Kawasaki? I was thinking it was Yamaha.
Or is it a Yamaha? I can't remember.
Wait, we gotta check.
Refer back to our tour our camper video. We've got a little, you know, 30-second thing about the generator in there.
Yeah, we forgot to check. Sorry.
The generator is phenomenal. It starts first pull every time, and it's quiet, and it does the job for what we need. So
perfect.
How long does our propane last? Once again, that's a variable question.
Depends on
climate. Basically, it's the biggest thing. When we were in Colorado Springs, we were there. It was in the teens, single digits.
We blew through propane
3 or 4 bottles.
Quite a bit, yeah.
In a week, and at $25 a fill, that's really expensive.
Yeah. Yep.
That was 2 months ago.
Yeah, it was in November.
And we just used that bottle we filled before we left the other day. So there you go.
Yeah.
5 days, 2 months, depending on how much you're using.
Right.
Just as far as, you know, the hot water tank isn't going to take a tremendous lot because we're not boondocking, so we use electric. The cooking stove doesn't use much. The biggest one is obviously going to be your furnace.
Yeah. Yep.
And when you're in a really cold climate, the furnace runs nonstop. The other thing, as far as if you're looking at buying a camper, I highly, highly recommend you buy one with the most insulation you can get. Couple of the different manufacturers, they refer to it as a polar package
or Arctic.
Arctic package. The insulation is going to help you both heating and cooling. So that was high on our list too. I want to make sure we got the
Well, definitely, since we're going to be living in it when we're in South Dakota too, and it's going to be cold there before we get to leave for the winter, so we definitely needed that.
His next question: How long can you stay in one spot before you have to move, and what is normally the limiting factor? Limiting factor is it's really about equal. It's storage tanks and fresh water. You run out of both really pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, it really all depends. Or if you're at a campground, whether it's got hookups or no hookups, or if you're boondocking. But I think if we're at a campground, they've got restroom and shower facilities and we've got no hookups. We generally try and use those all the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we like the state parks. A lot of them, they'll have electric only, so you don't have sewer hookups. Some of them have water, but then you have to use your holding tanks.
Right.
Some of them, like we stayed at Picacho Peak, and that one was electric only. So we'd go up, we'd make sure all our holding tanks were empty, we'd fill up our fresh water tank. On top of that, we filled up 15 one-gallon jugs of drinking water.
Definitely need those. I mean, that's just been huge for us. We drink a lot of water as it is, but just, I mean, when you think, okay, the coffee maker, or if you're boiling a pan for pasta, I mean, that all adds up.
That's, in that, you know, we talked before about if we choose to upgrade or wish we had a different camper, or I like the size we've got. It's 31 foot. It gives us, it's perfect for two people size-wise. It gives us maneuverability, the ability to get in some of the smaller spaces, some of the state parks.
Right.
But the smaller the camper, the smaller the holding tanks, the smaller the hot water tank, et cetera, et cetera. So that would be nice. If you get into a 35-footer, I think, their tanks are a little bigger, so you can stay longer.
And I think roughly
we're good about 7
I was just gonna
to
say,
10 days, depending on how much we conserve.
Yep, I figured it last time we were at, I think it was either Picacho or Lost Dutchman. It was roughly 7 to 10 days where...
And if we're, if you're boondocking, if you bring a lot of your own water and nobody's around you, you're out peeing every night in the bushes and whatever.
Number one outside is good.
Yeah, you can actually, push that a little further. But that's about where we land as far as how long we can stay.
Yeah, yep.
So hopefully we answered your question. Oh, somebody was asking, you mentioned a composting toilet. That's another option I wouldn't mind looking into.
Yeah, that would be definitely something I'd like to research.
And your thoughts are exactly the same as mine as far as if I did put in a composting toilet, now I don't have that black water tank. I could take that black water tank and actually put in more freshwater storage.
That would be ideal.
That's a good... Hopefully the RV manufacturers, I think some of them are starting to green up a little bit. I think some of them are offering the composting toilet as a standard option. Old school and new asked if we're still happy with the fifth wheel. I think we've kind of covered that. Any regrets or thoughts of a motorhome? I'm really not a motorhome guy, a Class A or a motorhome in general. I mean, any of the bigger ones. I don't want to have a tow vehicle,
right.
And I need a pickup for work, and I don't want, if my RV needs some engine work or whatever, I have nowhere to live then.
We actually stayed next to somebody that they had to do that.
Yeah, they have to go and rent a motel room for the week or two. That's the other thing, as far as service on RVs, especially prime season, you try and get into a Camping World or you get into any of these places, they're backlogged like crazy.
Yep.
So, you know what it's like trying to schedule your vehicle for a brake job. Sometimes you got to wait a week or let it sit there until they can get to it. Now imagine if that's your home.
Yep. Now, the one nice thing is that we've seen at some of the campgrounds is there are certain businesses that do mobile RV repair, and they'll come right into the campground.
Most of the ones I've seen, it's not going to be engine chassis work.
No,
it's going to be
major.
Come in and they'll fix, the functionality of the living space and not so much your engine and
exactly. So
brake jobs and things like that. So
I don't see it for us.
It goes, once again, that's a matter of opinion. Everybody's got their own opinion. There will be 1,000 arguments why our setup is not right for somebody.
Exactly.
But for us, it works. So. Okay, so Staghorn 22. She asked, what made us choose to buy a fifth wheel? I think we've covered that enough. And what are some of the things that we've added to the inside or outside to make living easier, better? If you want to talk about some of those.
Really, I think the biggest thing are just little handyman Eric things that he's done as far as adding extra shelving to some of the cupboards, and also the fact that storage was kind of limited as far as clothes and in the bedroom goes, is we got rid of the dinette and we got a desk in that place for, printer, paperwork, extra clothes,
yeah.
Whatever. But as far as the dinette goes, I mean, really, it just wasn't something for us. I mean, we're not on vacation with our family where we want to sit down at that meal and have. There's no fancy pants dinners, right?
We eat on the couch. We eat outside at a picnic table around the grill.
I was just gonna say. I mean, that's what entertaining. If you're in a nice climate or whatever, that's what outside is for.
Yeah, I just that to us, it just freed up so much space and gave us more storage and some functionality of a desk. So, and I think that's a pretty common swap that a lot of people are doing. They're trying to live on the road, so they need a workstation.
And plus, we needed more room for Coda's bed, so.
Inside, we haven't really changed, modified, done anything. Like you said, little
just
shelving.
The shelving,
here and there.
but.
Outside, obviously, I put the generator in the basement in the front cargo hold there. The other thing I added this year, I went out and bought a dual tank air compressor, almost like that you use for like pneumatic tools, a nail or whatever.
Yep.
And a 50-foot hose. The reason I did that is because it's very important to keep your tire pressures up on your vehicle and your tow vehicle.
Very important.
For wear and tear, for safety. And if you're trying to drive your 30+ foot camper and your 12-foot vehicle into a gas station with cars zooming in and out to the pumps, and you finally get it to where you need it, and you get two wheels lined up and the hose from the air compressor doesn't work, or you put $5 into this machine and it only goes up to 30 psi, or it takes 10 hours, that was a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
And then you got to try and spin the thing around, get back out of the parking lot to get to the other side to reach the other tires. So having onboard air is awesome. Before we go on the road for a long time, I can run around and make sure all the tires are inflated.
Yep.
Especially coming from a cold to a warm climate, that always affects tire pressure.
Blowing out the lines.
The other thing I use it for is for winterizing, blowing out the lines. I kind of use like the dry method. I don't go buy 100 gallons of the RV antifreeze and pump that through the whole system. I prefer to just blow them all out with air. So having that onboard air is great. Also, if I ever needed to run any pneumatic tools, I could, impact wrench or anything like that. So for a $100 investment, if you've got the space, that's really cool.
Huge. It's key.
Can't think of anything else we've added, changed, modified.
Nope.
We did get a new toothbrush holder the other day. And
it's
awesome.
I did. It's great.
Okay, let's see what else we got. Somebody wanted to know what we did for medical insurance. Basically, we went a year and a half without any insurance. Our employer doesn't offer it, which is, no big deal. We just weren't in a spot budget-wise to be able to go on our trip last year and travel as much as we did and pay for insurance. So, we could have spent the winter living in our camper in South Dakota and froze and blow everything up and had insurance. We decided to head south.
Yeah.
So this year we just budgeted our money a little tighter, and we just, we're on the Obamacare plan, and it is what it is.
We haven't had to use it yet, so that's good.
They also asked, is it covered out of state? No, it's not.
Not the one, because South Dakota is a little bit different.
Every state's different, every provider. This is an entire conversation for another...
Oh, whole nother episode.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
You just got to look into your state.
We are covered down here, but they're only going to pay like 50%.
Right.
No matter where we go,
and where you want to travel to, and it just You just got to do some research.
So basically my thought is, okay, we're covered emergency wise. They would pay 50% of the bills, but you know, I'm gonna trying to have my knee looked at this year.
Yeah.
We'll be back in South Dakota, and hopefully we can get that taken care of where we're in our network.
Yep.
Who else? Who was that, by the way?
Oh, that was Z061309.
Oh, again?
Yeah.
We got 2 questions
Awesome.
answered.
Good job.
Oh, this is a decent question, I guess. Phil Griffin. He just watched our move setup video, and he likes our 5th wheel, likes the 3 slides. His question is, you know, could he basically do all the work by himself, you know, as a single person on the road? Absolutely. It's what?
I was just going to interject there. The couple of times when I was asleep at the wheel helping him back up, he was doing the driving, but he does better sometimes.
It's easier
when I'm not assisting
with one person. But you know, even that being said, I've yet to come to a campground that either the neighbors don't offer to help back you in.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Or the park manager will send somebody, or follow you out in a golf cart to you know, get to your site and back you in, and just keep an eye on everything. So the backing in part is not an issue, and you know, as far as folding everything up and putting it away, and
it's really easy.
No, it just takes time. I mean, with the 2 of us, we can do it in probably 20 minutes.
Oh, I'd say we got it down.
You know, one person, all right, so what is it, 40 minutes to actually fold everything up and move things around.
Yep.
And that depends on how much you're moving to. If you're going to come down to Arizona or somewhere and sit somewhere for a month or 2, obviously you're going to decrease the amount of time you're going to need to move and pack up.
Right.
And
exactly.
If you're on the road constantly, then it does become more of a chore, but
and actually,
it's doable.
Some of the campgrounds we were at, we've met people, like Colorado was one of the ones where they'll have somebody with a truck come and move their camper, park it in that campground, and they'll stay there for 1, 2, 3 months, however long, and then when they need to move again, they'll find somebody else who does that. You know, so I mean, that's huge too.
I think that's it for all the questions. Pedassian Hippie, is that how you say that?
Yep, I think you're right.
They've been following us for a while. We appreciate you. And even above that, this is kind of a side promo note. I'll just go ahead and read it real quick. I just wanted to let you guys know that I ordered a couple of shirts on Monday with standard production and standard shipping. Nothing extra. I really expected them to wait a while before they even made the shirts. All of our shirts on our website are on-demand shirts, so they don't inventory a ton of them. They basically have to print each design as they're ordered. She continues, not only did they make them, but ship them priority, so I received them today. So that's about a 3 or 4 day turnaround time. They're good quality Gildan shirts, and the designs are beautiful. I'm not one to donate to channels since I am one on fixed income these days. I believe what you guys do in your videos are breathtaking. Besides, I've been jonesing for something with your logo on it ever since I found your channel.
Yay!
I can't thank you enough.
No, thank you, Pedassian. We really appreciate that. On
so many levels. One, the support for the channel and for us and what we're doing. And that's one of many. We get comments every day of people, you know, thanking us for what we're doing. And I can definitely relate because, you know, we've referenced it before that you live vicariously through people doing this, whether you don't have the means or you can't, or you're just not ready yet.
Right, right.
I watch so many videos on YouTube on people, you know, homesteading, living in a camper, living in a cabin, hiking the Appalachian Trail, and I think it's higher quality programming and more entertaining than half the crap you watch on your major networks or on cable.
Without a doubt, yeah.
There's so many real people with real stories out there, and I know we feel just blessed, honored that, you know, you've allowed us into your life, and it's cool. We appreciate it greatly. But then on top of that, for somebody to actually, you know, go out and purchase some T-shirts and some of our gear and wear our logo, I mean, that's pretty awesome.
That's really cool.
And we appreciate you to death.
I just want to say a big thank you. I mean, it's nice because in the wintertime now on our downtime, I get to read a lot of the comments from everybody, and it's just really cool. I mean, whether it's the questions or just a thank you or whatever. I mean, I almost feel like I'm becoming friends with you too, and you guys are just great.
And it is really, we've talked about this before too, but it is so hard. We literally, when we go back to work, we have to flip a switch.
Right.
We absolutely live two different lifestyles. Our work world is our work world. We're managing people and employee and resources and battling Mother Nature and, you know, just whatever it takes to run a business.
Right.
And, you know, this is just a total different mindset. My cameras and video gear and photography sits and collects dust. I don't even touch my cameras for 8 months. And it kills me to walk by them or see them.
I know.
YouTube channel comments are coming in constantly. And there's really nothing. I can't just pick one comment and answer it because you know there's 20 some a day, and so it's very frustrating. That being said, this lifestyle of working really hard and then, you know, recreating and playing really hard, it's almost like we extend time. Like every year is like 2 years.
Oh yeah.
It feels like a full year that we're down on vacation and traveling around, and it feels like a full year
that we're working.
It really feels like we've slowed time down. It feels like we've been on the road, and we sold our house 10 years ago. We've had so many adventures and sights, and
we've met so many amazing people.
So if there's anybody out there watching this, that if you're stuck in a rut, if you're working that job, paying that mortgage, and you're truly not happy, and you think you'd be inclined to trying this lifestyle, and if there's no other reason than just your comfort zone that's holding you back, you're crazy.
You gotta make the leap.
Make the leap. Do it.
You gotta do it.
Now, if it's finances, if it's job, if it's kids, which is probably the majority of reasons it's holding people back, do what you can. Be patient. You know, find a way to make it happen.
Well, you can even do, if the kids thing is a factor, I mean, you could even do the weekend camper thing. If there's a campgrounds near you, or people that have property near you where they could care less, you know, you park your camper. Just having the ability to drive 5 minutes down the road, even if you're in the woods,
get away.
It makes a huge difference.
So basically, don't let just stepping out of your comfort zone be the limiting factor, is what I'm saying. Things have a way of working themselves out, you know, and there are times in your life you've just got to kind of close your eyes and make a leap, as opposed to having that in the back of your mind for the next 5, 10, 25 years. Why didn't I?
That's the worst question to ask yourself.
No regrets. And that's the same with us. I don't know if ultimately we're going to be doing this the rest of our lives, or if it's just kind of a 5-year deal to travel around the country.
You never know.
I don't see
only time will tell.
Going back, you know, to a brick and mortar house ever.
No, and honestly, back to that a little bit, I do remember before we made the move, it seemed like, I mean, time was just flying. You know, we're like, okay, we're in our 40s. Our daughter, she's 20. You know, we're like...
A year goes by like that. I mean, you're just like, okay, you know, happy 2012, and then...
Yeah.
You actually try and, like, evaluate and take stock of what happened. Suddenly it's 2013. What did I really do this year? What memories do I have from this year?
Exactly. Yep.
Well, I worked. Well, there was that one weekend we went on vacation.
We had a nice weekend.
And that one time we went to this concert, or friends came in town, or... I mean, it's a handful of things.
Right.
When you're on the road, when you're able to spend some extended time out and kind of, you know, focus on yourself and travel and new experiences, my brain just goes numb trying to think of all the things we've seen and done.
Oh, exactly. That's why I'm glad we have the videos, because I couldn't remember them all.
And honestly, I mean, the videos are only 40% of what we're actually seeing and doing, and we're just trying to give people a little taste of some of the things we're experiencing. But do it.
Just do it.
And I guess, you know, we don't want to be all positive and flowers and puppy dogs and halos, but you need to be an adaptable personality.
Yes, you do.
To do this. I mean, you need to.
You need not to be that.
If you're
structured,
uptight, yeah.
No, OCD type, yeah.
And if you think you're going to do this and get away from people,
No.
people they're negative people, they're bad people, they're bad experiences, they're everywhere you go. You cannot be an uptight person and do this. You have to be flexible.
Right.
You have to be easygoing. You got to let things just roll off and like, all right, that didn't work out like I wanted today. We'll deal with it tomorrow.
Else, right.
Or, you know,
yep.
time schedules have to go out the window.
And we've never been one for that.
No, but I mean, in the work world or
in the
career world,
yeah, exactly.
You have
You're limited.
you know? So it's not for everybody. I'm not gonna, you know, sit here and pretend that it is. But if there are people that think it is, and I mean, you know, in your heart that this lifestyle would be good for you, get to it.
Definitely.
Find a way, make it happen.
I want to see you out there.
Yeah, and keep us updated and posted.
Definitely.
I think that's a wrap. Do you have any closing comments, thoughts on, you know, I mean, it's really reflecting on, you know, 2 years of this life and the decision we made. And we actually went through the other day and watched about a lot of the videos we've put out there. We haven't even watched them. I mean, you know.
Obviously, we were watching before we put them out, but
edited them and put them out, and then they just sit out there. Well, we actually sat down the other day and we're like, let's watch the first, you know, 5 or 6 videos.
Kind of weird to watch yourself.
Some of the videos are pretty cool, I'll say that. I mean, it's just blowing me away. You know what really was cool? Was the ones that had more wildlife in them. I love the Badlands.
Oh, yeah.
And,
yep.
You know, and that's the thing that I was talking about. I'd like to be able to do this full time because
yeah,
there's only so many snakes and coyotes and javelina you can see in the Southwest before you're, you know,
you're like, okay,
I want to see some
elk,
elk, some buffalo, some,
yeah,
you know,
definitely
bear
variety
and all that stuff.
Variety's good.
So and a lot of that stuff you can only see in the summer. But
all in all, I'm very thankful. I'm very grateful. Up until this point, we haven't had any, knock on wood, anything bad happen, whether it's health issues or mechanical issues with the trailer, truck, this and that, but it's been an amazing experience, and I know just in talking with friends back home.
okay. Our battery went dead, so we had to kind of cut off our goodbye.
I know, that's not good.
Oh, there's one more. I didn't get this one. Wasn't a comment. It was a message. Somebody asked, "When are you going to cut your hair?"
We did.
Never. No, actually, the other day I cut like that much. I've had short hair my whole life, so
Now you get wings.
we cut like that much off
Oh my god, it was a lot.
the other day, and
Now he just does the tuck. It's short enough he can tuck.
I think I might go for the ponytail next year. Tina doesn't think so.
That's up for debate still.
So I guess we wrapped everything up. We just want to say thanks again and post your questions.
Definitely. You keep them coming. I love reading all your stuff. And you guys crack me up.
Keep watching. And
Nice.
Coda's doing good.
Yes, as always.